Jorge Ramos joins me now. Clearly, the president disagrees with your assertion that he could have stopped deportation, and he's clearly trying to focus attention in a way that he and Democrats get credit in the Latino community for trying to do what they say is the right thing. But there's this tension among many Latinos who both appreciate what he's done, but don't think he's moved fast enough.
I agree completely. Let me say that among the Latino community, 89% of Latino voters are very grateful to President Barack Obama. They support completely what he did with his executive action. But on the other hand, there's a lot of resentment and disagreement with President Barack Obama. First, because he didn't deliver on his electoral promise on immigration reform in 2009, when he had control of both chambers of Congress. Okay, so that's one point. But the other thing is that he deported more than 2 million immigrants. He destroyed thousands of families. And if he's saying that it's because of politics, that it's because of the political process, and that he couldn't do anything about it, of course it's debatable if he has the authority or not to go ahead with this executive decision. But if he says he has the authority, why he didn't just do it before? He waited 6 years to do this? Clearly, again, Latinos are very grateful. But this is a point of resentment, no question about it.
It's interesting, though, because, you know, you've done interviews with him in the past, and in the past he'd always said, you know, he's not the emperor. He couldn't just make this executive order and rule by fiat on this. Clearly, that he changed his mind on that. He's never really given you an answer about what changed, why. Whether he was wrong in the past when he said he couldn't do it, or whether he's wrong now.
So I guess there are a couple of ways of trying to explain this. He did say that he was not a king, that he was not an emperor. He told me personally, that he didn't have the legal authority to stop deportations. And now what we see is that the president's opinion either has evolved or that he completely changed his mind. He didn't agree with my own interpretation. The fact is that at the end, he decided to go ahead and benefit more than almost 5 million undocumented immigrants. Either because he evolved or he changed his mind. At the end, he acted, and that's why Latinos, again, are very grateful for that. But from my point of view, my perspective is that he did change his mind. Maybe it was because of the pressure from journalists, from the Latino community, from members of Congress like Luis Gutierrez. I don't know exactly why, but at the end, the pressure from the community, from the Latino community, was felt, and he acted. And that's the important thing.
I want to play another portion of your interview with the president and talk about it. Let's listen.
And those, like you sometimes, Jorge, who suggest that there are simple, quick answers to these problems, I think, no, yes, you do, because that's how you present it. And I think when you present it in that way, it does a disservice, because it makes the assumption that the political process is one that can easily be moved around depending on the will of one person. And that's not how things work.
What about that? Is there something to that? I mean, the way immigration reform presented in Latin American media, does it acknowledge how difficult a process it is? Because the president seems to say it doesn't.
It is very difficult. Of course, it is very difficult. However, one person, the President of the United States, is changing the lives of almost 5 million people. So, in other words, it's important what he thinks, and it's important what he's doing. And I do agree that it is unfortunate that we are concentrating on President Barack Obama when we should be concentrated on Republicans. Really, the enemies of immigration reform in this country are Speaker John Boehner and the Republicans. It is John Boehner who blocked immigration reform in the House. So it is really unfortunate that we're not concentrating on what Republicans didn't want to do, instead of trying to concentrate on the disagreements that there are, and there are a couple of them, between President Barack Obama and the Latino community. It is a complicated issue. However, the president acted alone at the end, and that's exactly what many Latinos were expecting from the president.